All right. Okay, let's start. Okay, so Adhav, good evening.
Good evening.
How's your day been so far?
Yeah, days went pretty well.
Okay, okay, that's good. All right, so let's start with the question that you're probably expecting. Adhav, tell me something about yourself.
Uh, I am Adhav. I am from Chennai. Was born in Kerala and brought up in Tamil Nadu. Did my schooling in Chennai and my college at SRM University, which is right outside Chennai. I'm an automobile engineer, and currently my experience is in the publishing industry. And my 12th group was biology, so I had a very interesting career progression.
Okay.
And I'm primarily interested in sports, English literature, automobiles, and currently sales. Uh, Sports in terms of sports, I started out playing tennis, and I was looking to turn professional because I was starting to get into quarterfinals. I represented my school in the CBSE zonals, and I had to drop out because I injured my shoulder near the 10th grade. So afterwards, I transitioned into a basketball player, and I represented my inter-school team, and I have won two medals in the super senior category. English literature, my parents are academics. My dad is a doctor, and my mother is a physics professor, and they put on a lot of emphasis on getting my education, and they motivated me to read, and they gave me a lot of books. So I had a lot of interest in literature and its associated activities, debate, extempore, quiz competitions, and oratoricals. I participated in everything. And when it comes to automobiles, I'd like to clarify my interest. It's not the usual interest that you get from reading magazines or following F1. My family had an accident before I was born. They had a car, Maruti. They had an accident. So after I was born, they sold the car and there was no automobile. So they took a decision that we would not be buying any automobile. So, I had this desire to understand, how the automobile worked, to be in one, and that's what started the initial passion for me. So I would watch other cars go. I memorize their names, Suzuki, Volkswagen, and so on. And that's one of the reasons I chose my engineering degree. So that covers who I am.
Okay, okay, interesting. All right, so you said that you had biology in the 12th grade,
Yes, sir.
okay, and then you went on to do your automobile engineering. Um, and then the job was in the publishing house as a consultant,
Yes, sir.
right? Now, these are completely three different areas,
Absolutely.
right? So, would it be okay to say that you're confused at this point in time?
Not really, sir. Basically, I just took biology because it was very easy for me to actually go through the subject. I could just crawl through because my dad was a doctor. I spent a lot of time with him in the clinic. I went with him to Red Cross and all those things. I had picked up a lot of stuff that was not taught in the classroom. So biology just came naturally to me. So it was not really about picking biology because I want to specialize in that. It was about a matter of convenience for me. Automobile engineering is something I really wanted to do. So about that, I'm clear. I wanted to join an automobile company. So I was clear up till that point of time. But the injury put paid to my career. Like by the time I was rehabilitated, no companies were there. When I was in the final year of college, before my final year of college, I did four internships. Like
Hmm.
with Mahindra, with Bajaj, I was very outgoing. I did everything I could to bolster my profile. So when that happened and when I came out and I couldn't find out anything, I was very depressed because I wanted a core job. This is something that I really wanted. I wanted to go in there. I couldn't get anything. And the automobile companies, all the core companies will be coming only 6, 7 months down the line. And by then I would have a year gap and, they prefer freshers for GTs. And I had to consider that. So at that time when I was down, I was just looking around because I could not travel very far because of my knee. So I was just looking for job opportunities around me, just to get a initial start, just to get the motivation to get up from where I was right now. So I just saw this publishing consultant job opening. It's just two kilometers from my house. I thought, I have a really good understanding of English. I've read so many books, and my English scores are actually pretty good. I was school topper in grade 12 for English,
Okay.
and I got the proficiency, which is getting the highest mark towards the year in biology and English in grade 11 as well. So I have a very good knowledge about authors, writing styles, and all those things. So I thought, why not just give it a try? That
Okay.
doesn't hurt to go there. So I went
Okay.
there, I got the job, and I learned that the job was about consulting and sales, and I had no experience. So I thought, let's just learn and see whatever comes out of it. I thought it was temporary at first, but then I loved the job and what it entails. So I just went.
Okay. Okay. All right. So tell me something. See, I understand that you sort of got into the job.
Mhm.
You can say by chance, right? You were looking for jobs. You got this. You enjoyed, and then you stayed, right? If you enjoyed the job so much, then why did you quit in April 2020?
So the reason was while I was doing the job, I got
Mm-hmm.
to work with a lot of managers. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was a startup with the place I worked in. I was encouraged to interact with a lot of people, and I was what attracted me a lot was how much work they got done, how they were delegating tasks, and so on. And the more I saw, basically, I'll have some thought or idea about the sales process, and this person, these set of managers would explain why it would work, or whether it was implemented, and what sort of resources need to be delegated for that. They'll have the technical know-how, and they'll be having this ability to clearly think. They will never be flustered. Even if they faced a problem, they'll be able to sit down and think it through and arrive at a solution. Okay, this is
So,
the way.
let me stop you. Let me stop you here for a minute. I understand that you were impressed your managers, and probably you're going towards this is the reason you wanted to do your MBA. Is that correct? Is that the
Absolutely.
direction that you're going?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. My question is, why did you quit your job? Was it to prepare for CAT and then sort of get into a B school? Was that the primary reason?
Primary reason, yeah. So I wanted to prepare for CAD. I wanted to give it my all and everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The pandemic also hit, so they shut shop for a while. So basically, in
Mm-hmm.
months, they said, we'll lie low and restart later. So I thought it's
Mm-hmm.
a perfect opportunity for me to resign and just get into the preparation.
Okay. Okay. So when you say this shut shop for a while, what do you mean?
They just
They suspended operations?
they didn't suspend operations. They furloughed
Mm-hmm.
employees for a while. I said we'd be
Okay.
resuming the consulting part of it after a certain period of time.
Okay. Okay. So you were followed for a while, is
Yes,
what you're saying.
yes, yes.
And were you sort of given a timeline saying that we're going to resume at this point in time, or it was kind of like
Uh,
indefinite, or at that point it wasn't clear?
Indefinite. They just said we'd want to, give it a break for a few months at a time, and then
Okay.
give you an update at a later point.
Okay. Okay. So at that time you decided to resign and then go on invested full time in your CAT preparation.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? Okay. All right. Okay, I get that. I get that. So see, tell me something. I understand the part that you got followed, right? That's due to the pandemic that impacted a lot of jobs, right? So that's understandable. My question is, from April 2020, you've been preparing for CAT full time,
Yes, sir.
right? And you got your score, the specific score that you've got. Now there are candidates who are competing with you right now,
Mhm.
okay, for a seat who probably did better than you in CAT, along with handling a very stressful full-time job. There are
Absolutely.
many candidates like that who are working till this point in time, right? Who've even probably even struggled to get slots to sort of get breaks from work to come and do their personal interviews.
Mhm.
It goes to that extent, right? So you're competing with candidates like that with better CAT scores and with a more robust work experience. So then why should we select you?
So I admit that people have been able to balance work life with this particular thing, but I think
Mm-hmm.
as an individual, I felt that I would have less regrets if I committed full time and got this particular thing out of the way. So different things work for different people. I understand that they might have a better CAT score, but my academic record, my internships, and my extracurricular activities would give you a good indication as to what kind of person I am. So if you
Mm-hmm.
give me this particular opportunity, I can assure you that I will take that chance with my full chance, full two hands, and make sure I make the best use of this opportunity.
Okay. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Um, Correct. Let's talk about your work experience for a little bit, then before we switch tracks to academics. So, 17 months in the publishing house. Give me, in brief, explain to me what your work profile was.
So my primary responsibility was to consult authors. So there'll be a team who'd be
Mm-hmm.
scouting the incoming leads, and they'll figure out who the actual leads are. They'll get some information about what they're writing and so on, and they'll give it to us, the publishing consultants. So my job is to get on a call with them, figure out the details. So your methodology is up to you. I personally believe in research. So if I get a lead, I'll figure out what they're doing on social media, where they're working, what they're writing about. So I'll do a bit of research and get on a call with them, and I'll get them to talk. So essentially, my job is to get them engaged and then sell a package based on what their requirements are. So
Okay.
that's what I did. That's my primary responsibility. Apart
Okay.
from that, say after 6 to 7 months, I was given the task of writing frequently asked questions, creating email templates, and orienting new recruits. That's something I was given. So that's something I
Okay.
did for the duration of my career in Motion Press.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So your publishing house had like different packages that you would sell to authors, and then they would come on board if they wanted to, right? Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. You wanted to say something?
So selling was not the primary point. So what we would do is we'll offer the consultancy first. So
Okay.
after the consultancy, after hearing the requirements, if we can fulfill that, we can tell them, hey, these are the plans we have. We send it across to them, and we'll get on another call with them to suggest what they can do.
Okay.
So
Okay. I get that. I get that. But my question is, you said the lead used to come to you and then used to take on from there, right?
Yeah.
Or you used to sort of talk to the lead right from the beginning.
No.
Okay. So the lead comes to you, right? So the consulting part is done, and then you handle the sales part. Is that correct?
Consulting part is not done. So the initial sifting through the amount of leads that come in,
Right.
good leads, bad leads, great leads, fiction, non-fiction, poetry. So that sifting is initially done. They'll get the basic, who you are, what you're writing, what genre, and then they'll send it across to us. We'll do the
Okay. And what goes on to typically what goes on in a consulting process?
Essentially, I'll try to get the author to talk to me. I'll try to figure out what they are writing, why they are writing, the writing style. Have you considered a lot of different factors, ebook or paperback, color pictures, hardbound? Why you're writing? Are you looking to propagate your brand? This particular. So have you researched other books? I have heard 4 such books. I've seen 4 such books in the market. The same story that you already said. So there will be a saturation when it comes to the market. Have you thought about that? So that sort of information, I'll try to give some information and get a lot of information from the authors. So it'll be a give and take. Do you know this about the publishing industry? So that's how the conversation goes.
Okay. And then the decision is ultimate decision rests with the author whether they want to hire you or not as a publishing house, or do you do some sort of or is there some part of decision that stays with your company as well? Like, would you select authors based on that discussion?
Selecting authors in the sense we would try to figure out what the author wants. We'll try to figure out if it's doable or not. If it's not doable, we'll ask them, why do you want to do this particular thing? If they have a reason that is not in line with what the publishing industry norms, we'll tell them, hey, this is something we already tried. If we already tried, and tell them it did not work out well. So instead of this, we have introduced this particular thing that we have the data on. We have figured out this particular service works in this industry for this particular set of people. So I would suggest that you go for this.
Okay. Got it. Okay. In terms of challenges, now look back in your 18 months and tell me the main, and I need specifics here. Give me like couple or maybe just one, the biggest challenge that you faced in these last 18 months, and be as specific as possible.
The biggest challenge I faced was I was assigned to the non-fiction genre. Basically, I had to deal with executives. I had to deal with thought leaders, motivational speakers, and so on. So basically, with those people, you have to be very careful. They only have a set amount of time. If they choose to give that time to you, you have to convey what you're about. No beating around the bush. You have to tell them statistics. If you're going for this, this is what you'll be getting. This is the timeline you're looking for. And they'll have, just because they won't be convinced just because you're telling them some information. So you'll have to, they'll have the hardest question. What is your fulfillment time? How many printing partners do you have in this particular place? Why should I go for this surface? This makes sense for me. In this package, this does not make sense for me. So what is the value perspective here? So essentially, you have to be very careful. So this person was my first high profile client. His name is Walter Vieira. So he's retired right now. He was a sales executive. He's been published by, I forgot the name. He's been published by a lot of traditional publishing companies. He's writing a book with Mr. Brian Almeida, who has his own company, the strategic marketing strategy company. It's called the Strategic Caravan. So I had to take a call with both of them and explain why this particular set of services was good for them and what I can do, what value perspective this particular company, Notion Press, can provide for you over all the competitors in the market, and so on. So that call was very mentally taxing for me. It was not physical because I had to be on the guard. The call went for say 2.5 hours. I had to be on my guard. I had to have all the information in front of me. I had to make sure I did not make a misstep. So that was very stressful. And once I got this particular call done, everything was easier for me. The further calls with other non-fiction writers became easier for me.
Okay. And did they come on board?
Yeah, they published. I think.
Okay.
They published.
Okay. All right. You're sure about that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. In terms of achievements in the 18 months, did you sort of have any concrete achievements in terms of, like, I don't know what the culture in your workplace was, but in terms of awards or promotions, anything of that sort?
Promotions, you have to stay there for 24 months to become a senior publishing manager. But that is one of the problems they had with the company. Basically, it was publishing consultant, senior publishing consultant, and then manager. That's all. They'll give you responsibilities. Basically, towards my end of my tenure at Notion Press, I was asked to deal with incoming LinkedIn leads because I was extremely successful with non-fiction writers. So basically, whoever messaged people on LinkedIn, Notion Press Media on LinkedIn, I'll get those leads. I'll have to do the cold calling and figure out, whether they're interested in writing. So I had to come up with a script for that, email template, and so on. So that's something I did. And apart from that, of course, orienting new recruits, how to behave on the sales floor, what to expect, writing the call flow infographics, updating it, maintaining frequently asked questions, if they ask this particular difficult question. So I've also handled a lot of edge cases. Edge cases in the sense, they are cookie cutter authors. For fiction, this is the ideal author. For non-fiction, ideal author, and so on. Edge cases have a lot of requirements, and a lot of consultants wouldn't want to deal with them because of the amount of time and effort involved. But since I was looking to, improve myself, I took some of the edge cases, and we'll essentially reach a compromise. You can have this, but you cannot have that. You have to make a choice, kind of thing. So yeah. So I would write the frequently asked questions. If this is something your author asks you, this is a choice you can give them. Don't directly tell them no, because that will sound extremely negative on the call. So you can tell them, hey, I get where you're coming from. This is something we already done. Or you can tell them, okay, this in its entirety cannot be done, but this can be done and this cannot be done. You have to make a choice.
Okay. All right. When you were explaining this to me, you mentioned that one of the problems that you had with the company was the fact that, and I think you indicated the fact that the hierarchy was just very sort of small, or for you to sort of get promoted in terms of the levels that you had. So you have 3 levels, is what you said. And you found that as a problem. Why? Like, what did you not like about that structure?
So essentially, most of the seniors left. They did not stay with the company. So and if you just stay there for maybe 4 or 5 years, you'll hit your ceiling because the managers have been there since 2012. They had a share in the company. They were friends with the owner. So there was no way they are leaving. So essentially, the highest you can go was become a senior publisher and a team lead, and that's about it. So I had a problem with that because usually companies will have multiple layers. They'll have a structure where they'll tell you, okay, if you do this, if you complete these key responsibilities, you'll have the appraisals at this point of time, and we'll be doing this for you. So there's no structure over there.
Okay, all right. What kind of structure would you have preferred?
So I would like a solid structure. Basically, at Ashok Leyland, they told me even before joining, there is a rating system, 5 stars each year, which will be given by your manager and approved by his boss. So if you score about 4 or 5 stars for 2 years in a row, you'll be promoted.
Okay.
So, and then again, so you'll be joining as a GET, graduate engineering trainee. After your training, you'll be posted as a deputy manager in a particular department. So after 2 years, you'll become a assistant manager and then a manager and so on. So I had a clear idea. And they also told me about higher education over there. So they had tie-ups with IIM Bangalore for executive PGP. They told me that my mentor told me that he'll be going for that. So I had a lot of opportunities in front of me. So that vision, it was clear to me what I needed to do to get there.
Okay. Okay. So one of the things that you're looking for in your future companies, I'm guessing when you, let's say, you get into an MBA program, you finish it, and then you join a companies, is sort of like a clear idea about
Yes,
how you're
sir.
going to progress,
What my
right?
career ladder is going to be. Yeah.
Right. And tags seem to matter to you a lot. The profile name, the designation name, that seems to matter a lot.
It's not the tag that matters to me a lot,
Mm-hmm.
sir. It's tag is also part of it, but I'm more concerned about my career plateauing. I want to keep learning. I thrive in a dynamic and challenging environment. I want to add new skills to my profile. I want to improve, constantly keep
Mm-hmm.
improving. I want mentors who I can look up
Mm-hmm.
to. And if there's a credible goal that if you do this consistently for a certain period of time, you can reach the next level and you'll be closer to catching them. That will be a good motivation for me.
Okay. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay, let's talk about your acads. So you did your automobile engineering,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
and before that you said that you did biology and obviously the 10th grade. How would you rate your academic performance considering 10th, 12th, and your engineering?
I would say average to good. Some
Okay,
subjects I did really well. Other
okay,
subjects I didn't do as well as I could have.
okay,
So
okay,
yeah, that's
okay.
because
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. You were saying something.
that's I think I could have performed better in some subjects in my 10th and 12th. So
Okay,
but as when it comes to automobile engineering, I think I just gave it my all because I was this starry-eyed kid going into college with having no idea about how anything worked. So it was
hmm,
playing catch-ups from semester one. I did everything I could. Like I mentioned, I did all those internships. Pestered and buggered my teachers, and I did everything I could. So automobile engineering, I did my best. 10th and 12th, maybe I could have done a little better.
okay, okay. What was your overall score in engineering?
84.06%.
84.06%. Okay, and where I know you guys don't get ranks, but where would that place you in your batch or year tentatively? Top 10,
Maybe in
top
the top
20?
20, top 20 or top 15, maybe, I think. Yeah.
Okay, and out of a batch size of how many?
240.
240. Okay, top 20 out of 240. Okay, are you satisfied with this performance?
Yes, sir. I
Okay,
got I
all
got
right.
all the calls that I wanted to. I had an interview call from Renault, Nissan, Hyundai, and Ashok Leyland. So just
Okay,
for the reason I say, they're convinced that I must have done something right. So
right,
very
right. Okay.
satisfied with my performance.
Okay, okay. So tell me something, Adhav. See, I understand that you had that unfortunate accident because of which you couldn't continue in Ashok Leland, right? And
Yes,
then
sir.
then you sort of decided to change tracks and get a job in this publishing house. My question is, why didn't you, when you were done with your rehabilitation, why didn't you try for automobile in the jobs in the automobile domain?
I did try for automobile jobs, sir, but none of the companies, core companies, were hiring. So all the
Okay.
companies that were hiring for assembly line jobs, quality control and analysis, something that I have no interest in.
Hmm.
So those kind of jobs, and even when it comes to jobs like that, I have no experience. I don't know what to say in the particular interview.
Hmm.
So I had no way to get into a core company at that point of time.
So what kind of profiles were you looking at that time?
I was looking for maybe automotive engines or emissions, or looking at even something like spare parts, or
Okay.
being a part of a dealership where you get to work with the vehicles in person,
Hmm.
observe how the on the floor how engineers are working, that
Hmm.
kind of shop floor engineers. All those careers were appealing to me.
Okay. Okay. All right. What were your favorite subjects in your undergraduation?
Automotive engines and emissions. So.
Automotive engines and emissions. Okay. So see, I don't know anything about this particular subject, right?
Mhm.
So again, in very brief, explain to me what the subject is all about, as if you were talking to a layman who doesn't know anything about this domain.
Okay, so engine is basically machine or mechanism.
I know what an engine is. No, no. Explain to me what the subject is all about.
A subject is about understanding
Yeah.
engine. So classification, internal combustion, where the burning of the fuel happens inside, external versus external combustion, which is a steam engine, right? So types of classification. So basically, we have different types of petrol delivery, which is a multi-point fuel injection, which is at constant pressure, which is what we use for diesel engines right now. And we have CRDI, common rail direct injection, where combustion happens at constant volume. where they have a common system where the petrol has to come in, and all the different cylinders inside the engine have a rail that they are attached to. So that's something we do. So we talk about automotive engines and emissions go hand in hand. So we talk about what happens when the fuel comes in, how the burning is affected, what kind of gases are created. So basically, the important gases are HCs, hydrocarbons, NO, which is nitrogen oxides. Then there's the amount of sulfur in the fuel, which has to be below a certain ppm, which is parts per million, and so on. So essentially, then we'll talk about the catalytic converters, the mechanisms, and how these particular carbon monoxide and how these particular gases are purged before it comes out of the exhaust, and what kind of fuels are used. And that's what goes into this particular subject.
Okay, all right. In terms of so this particular domain, what are the latest developments? Are there sort of like any new innovative developments that have come out in this domain?
So the innovative developments are with electric cars. So basically, they have automated braking system, which is essentially they'll have a sensor up front. So it'll maintain a constant speed. So you should let the ECU AI take over. So essentially, they will. This is something that we saw in Tesla. So basically, it will calculate the relative distance between all the cars and the relative speed between the cars, and will maintain a constant speed. And if it realizes that someone is making a sudden brake, it will automatically apply the brakes. That is something there. There is another thing called regenerative braking. So essentially, when you're applying the brakes, the direction of the motor changes, and electricity is regenerated, which will be stored by the battery. And there is alternate traction control system, which is also used for hill climbing, which you can see in the latest model of the XUV. So basically, different amount of traction or different amount of torque will be provided to the individual wheels of the car, which is extremely interesting because the car won't slip. So if the individual wheels require different traction, the AI ECU will automatically detect that with a sensor, and it will send it across, and the car can smoothly move forward.
Okay, so I think I got it's mic internet connection. It's unstable, but it should be okay now. All right, I got the gist of what you were saying in terms of innovations, right? Tell me this: self-driving cars, right? This is something which is huge in the US, right? I know Waymo, which is Alphabet's one of the Alphabet's divisions, is testing it. Tesla, I think, is also into the field of self-driving cars. It's picking up, right? It's picking up a lot of steam. There's a lot of research going on in that area. When do you see sort of a time in future when we'll have self-driving cars in India?
Not in the near future, sir. So self-driving cars are not even going to come out, I don't think, in the next half a decade or so, because what Tesla is doing is not completely self-driven. It's basically, so essentially what Tesla is doing, it's not self-driven cars. Basically, it's just assisted driving. So you're still supposed to keep your hands on the steering wheel. And while it'll take control for some time, but you're supposed to, there's a lot of safeguards and safety measures there. So it's not exactly self-driven. And Alphabet's efforts have not borne fruit. Yeah, they have developed one car, it's a prototype and so on. Uber is interested in it, but I don't see, self-driving cars being out in traffic anytime soon.
Okay, all right. 1 second. So you said the Alphabet's efforts have not borne fruit, but I thought they started testing in a number of states, and haven't some states in the US already launched this for a very small set of consumers?
So no, I don't think so. So the last I searched about this particular thing, they just said it was a prototype, and so I just read the opinion piece about this 2 months back. So they just said it did not take off in the way it was intended.
All right.
So it was cooling down. The idea was cooling down, or they were reworking something, is what I heard.
Fair enough. Okay. Why do you want to do an MBA, Adhav?
So I just want to level up in my field that I am right now. So basically, I have come to enjoy sales and consulting, but more the sales aspect of it. So I just want to, go to the next level right now. I have seen all those managers. I want their skill set. That is what I even told them when I was sitting down and discussing, going to a career. That is something I discussed with them. So I want to acquire the skill set. The vision is required. I want to help shape sales strategies. I want to help with the hiring, training, and orienting the new employees with the vision of the company. I want to do all of that.
Okay. All right. What kind of qualities did you, so in this, it looks like you worked with sales managers, right? So what kind of qualities did you admire in these sales managers that you worked with?
So first one was they never get flustered. So basically, they're always stoic. They'll receive information. They have a great ability to perceive things. They'll get the data, process it, and say, "Hey, this is what you need to do." And they'll be great at delegating resources. We have this problem, and this is what we need to do. I'm delegating these two people to do this thing, and I'm sure I'll get the required solution. And third one comes with experience. I'm sure it's basically in-depth knowledge about the industry. They can tell you any question the author is asking, any question you have, any question the senior developers have. They'll be able to answer it, and they'll be able to answer it in a way that you're able to understand. So which in turn tells me that they have a very in-depth understanding of that particular situation. So
okay, all right. You said that they never get flustered, right?
Yeah.
Now, MBA is not going to teach you that quality, Adhav. That is something that either an individual has or has not, or you can personally sort of strive to improve on it.
Yes,
right?
Sir. Yes,
How is an MBA going to teach you to not get flustered in any situation?
Yeah, so I agree with the fact that being flustered is a personal trait, but I don't think it's a trait per se for this particular set of people I'm talking about. Essentially, it's the confidence you have in the knowledge that you have. If you're facing a problem, you know how you're going to solve it because you already seen it. I already read about it somewhere. So it's the confidence in that particular skill set they possess that helps them understand. Hey, you know what? I know I'm going to face this. I know what I have to do. So this is what I'm going to do. So it doesn't help me to scream or yell or lose my cool. So that is what I'm looking for.
Okay. All right. You spoke about them having in-depth knowledge about the industry, right?
Yes.
Salespeople are known to have a ton of confidence and are known to, and I'm just trying to get a really nice word and not sort of swear here, but salespeople are known to faff a lot.
Yes, sir.
Right? Sales is, in fact, like the within the sales domain, the ones that are admired and looked up to, they actually faff a lot because their job is selling, right?
Yes, sir.
So most sales managers will never come up and say, "I don't know," because that's sort of frowned upon in the sales world. Even if you don't know, you should just go ahead and faff and just, no matter what, convince the customer to buy your product, right? In fact, there's a very common saying, that phrase that goes along in the sales world, where it says that if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, you baffle them with bullshit, right? What is your opinion on this?
So that hyperbole was prohibited in our company. So basically, you're allowed to extrapolate and you're allowed to present whatever is true with respect to the services and the results we achieve in a way that you see fit, that might be attractive to the customers. But hyperbole as a whole was prohibited. So if you're talking about faffing, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people sales is associated with it. We were encouraged to watch Thank You for Smoking and Wall Street to identify how a proper salesman speaks. But there was just on the surface, how to sound confident and so on. We were discouraged from actually misleading the customers. So that's the culture that was propagated in Notion Press. And I don't want to faff to people. Maybe you can present the data in an attractive way. You can tell people what they want to hear in a way that is not unethical. So that is all something I support. But faffing, no. So that's not what I aspire to be.
Okay. All right. Okay, I get that. I get your noble intentions, right? You don't support faffing. You don't want to mislead the customer. You won't succeed in the sales world, and that's the reality. Especially if you look around India or all over the world, right? The best salespeople are the ones that unfortunately that's what it is, right? They will, by hook or by crook, they will convince the customer. So I mean, if you're not in support with it, then probably you're going for the wrong line.
May I get a word in, sir? So basically, I said you should not mislead customers in a way that is unethical. It is in that context that I mentioned faffing. So I'm not opposed to telling customers what they need to hear. but it shouldn't be unethical. It shouldn't go against the legality of the company or industry laws or the laws of the country in which you are based out of. So you can present, your job is to present data in an attractive form. Your job is to find out what the customer wants, why they are choosing your service, why they are preferring to go for this particular service at this point of time, and tell them what they are looking to hear in an attractive way. So in that particular sense, staffing and hyperbole is okay. So in the other sense, it is not okay, is what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. Tell me this. So in terms of specialization, then you're inclining towards marketing, right?
I'm inclined towards sales. I have a little interest in marketing as well, because digital marketing fascinated me, because we had a horizontal system at Notion.
Is there a sales specialization in the MBA program?
Sales and marketing is a specialization.
Right. So marketing is a main component, right, of that specialization. Isn't sales also a part of marketing?
It is an interesting question, because I think they go hand in hand.
What's the difference?
Sales is basically about, if you're selling a product, it's about, okay.
Let's move on. No worries. Let's move on. All right. What plans after an MBA, Adhav? What do you plan to do after?
I want to become a sales manager and go up the management hierarchy. And at a later point of time, I would prefer to become an independent consultant with respect to sales and so on.
Okay, so when you say independent consultant, then what exactly do you want to do?
Sales strategies. If I have knowledge about marketing, digital marketing, and all those things, I would like to share my knowledge with companies.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. Tell me this. So before we discussed as to what sort of in a not in a direct sense, but you told me that what sort of traits or what sort of experience do you bring to the table, which puts you in sort of like good stead with people who are coming with better work experience than you, right? When we were talking about the break for cat and all of that, give me 2 reasons why we should not select you.
I have this bad trait where I'm impatient, because I would put an X amount of effort. Like internally, logically, I know that there are things that you have to work. Basically, I'm into fitness, so you have to work out for years before you see a proper gains. So I know that logically, but even then, I have this impatience trait. So basically, I'm putting an X amount of effort now. I want to see the results. Or I'm talking. I've mailed this client. Why are they not opening the mail? That sort of.
That sounds like a positive trait. You're basically saying that you're impatient for results. You're hungry for impact. You're hungry for progress. That's what you're saying, right? That sounds like a positive trait.
Okay.
I'm asking you for reasons that we should not select you. Don't package positive traits and make them sound like areas of development or negative. Don't do that. Tell me 2 reasons that we should not select you. This is a good reason, right? What you're telling me. I would want to select you if you have that hunger and.
It is not in the. I did not mention in the context of hunger, sir. It's basically.
Sounded like that, right? You want results faster. You want progress faster. So that sounded like that. That you're hungry, which is good.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe in the context of wanting, not listening properly. Maybe in conversations, waiting for your turn to speak instead of actually listening to people.
Okay. So listening skills. Yeah. Listening skills. Okay, that's one. What else?
I can. I can tend to be maybe lazy at times. Too.
Okay. And explain. Talk more about that.
Basically, if you know that if you put in a certain amount of effort, and if you put in 120%, you can get the top ranks. But at this point of time, I don't feel like I want to put in that much effort because I don't feel like I'm up to it. Yeah, so I'll just be okay with getting a tier lower. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens at times.
Okay. So you tend to become complacent at times. Sort of you're happy with what you have. You don't really want to sort of like grow further beyond a point. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Just give me 1 second. All right. Very quickly. Tell me. So you're from Chennai, right?
Yes.
When are the state elections?
I have no idea, sir.
No idea. Okay. All right. Did you watch the budget?
I read the highlights, yes.
Okay. Can you give me very quickly? Can you give me two highlights that you've read about?
Gold and silver custom prices have come down from 12.5% to 7.5%.
Okay.
And copper custom prices have also reduced. And the government has planned to open a central university in Ladakh.
Okay.
And railway modernization project is starting the intent to completely modernize the railways by 2030 and completely make the railways completely electrical by 2023. Apart from that,
fair enough. I think you've given me a few highlights. That's fair enough. So did you sort of just read the highlights, or did you go a bit deeper?
I didn't go a bit deeper, so I just
didn't go deeper. Okay, that's fine. All right, sounds good. Just 1 second. Okay, I'm done with my questions.